About 15 years back, Motorola said that there could be a large market for people to talk on mobile devices in remote areas, and the answer was, set up 77 satellites, and that was Iridium. They invested close to $5 billion behind that. As everybody knows, it went nowhere. Another related story, which is less well known, is Nokia decided sometimes in mid-2000s that the entire mapping is going to be actually a huge application. And they found that there was this company called Navtech, which actually had put in the maximum amount of infrastructure which actually captures traffic control, sensors, etc. And the key thesis was this infrastructure is very expensive to put. Whoever has put it first has a big advantage. So Nokia paid $8.1 billion to acquire Navtech. 2 years later, Google paid $1 billion to acquire a company called Waze. Or Vaz, I don't know.
Yes, W-A-Y-Z.
W-A-Z-E. It's an Israeli startup. They actually had a very different approach to capture this thing about how do you capture traffic flows, which was to look at the GPS sensors which are there in smartphones, and which actually is now the way Google Map works, because you look at the density and the speed and the GPS of smartphone users, and that actually is now more accurate. And obviously we know where Nokia is and where Google Maps is and where Waze is. So I think the first piece, which is around disruption, is the fact that if I was to be candid, and actually I think consultants are probably the worst in trying to predict what the disruption would be, because a lot of time when we are looking at what's going to happen in the future, we are actually looking at the past and doing a linear extrapolation, typically. The challenge with that is disruption, when it ends up happening, we talked about the Waze example, the Navtech example, it actually happens in a very non-linear fashion. If you look at all analyst reports, and actually Vinod Khosla did actually an article on this, he looked at all estimates of mobile phone penetration globally, which were made in 2002. And he looked at how accurate were those predictions in 2004. They were off by 100%. Right? Then he looked at 2004 projections for 2006. They were again off by 100%. Then he looked at 2006 projections and looked at 2008. Right? And that's the thing, because typically, when we look at disruptions, we are looking at the past, we are looking at the linear part in some sense of the curve, and not at the exponential. So I think that's the one thing to keep in mind as we think about disruption. It's helpful, it's useful to look at past, but actually, in my view, it's much more important and relevant to look at parallels, and to look at if there is something which is going to actually create that disruption, which is going to be out of that. So that's the first thought or theme about disruption.